Okay, I see quite a few people are in now, so maybe we can also start. Welcome again to those of you who joined the webinar. Thank you for taking your time today. The session will be recorded, so you will also be able to watch it after that on our YouTube channel, and you can also share it with your network if you know someone that would be interested. So what we will cover today. We will start with introduction of the speakers that we have today with us for the presentation. We will give you a short introduction about what the Orange Knowledge Program is, the eligible courses that you can apply for at IHS and become a student in the Institute. There is a new country list after the latest updates that we have, so we will introduce you to the new country list, so please pay attention and make sure your country is still eligible. Then we will go over the application process and the required documents for submitting your OKP application. We will cover the deadlines, both for the IHS programs, but also for the scholarship. And then we also have a student today with us who is OKP awardee, and he will share his experience from applying for the scholarship, and then we will wrap up with question and answer. So please, if you have any questions, put them in the question and answer box, and then we will try to cover as much as possible, if not all of them, in the end after the slides are done. Yes, so here we are today, these three nice people that you see on the photos, starting with me. My name is Michaela, and I'm Enrollment Officer and Scholarship Coordinator, and I'll be the moderator for today. And I'd like to ask my colleague Laurel.
Okay, hi, so I'm Laurel, and I'm the Admissions Officer.
And we also have Frederick with us today.
Hello, I'm Frederick Onyango Warega, MSc student and also one of the student representatives. Welcome all.
Yes, thank you so much. And online in the back, we have my lovely colleague Katica, who will be monitoring your questions in the chat. So if there is anything, you can also, put your questions in the chat box and she will take care of that. So before we kick off this presentation, we have the first poll for today, and we would like to see how many of you are familiar with the Orange Knowledge Program. So please, I think on your screens now you see a question. And how did you find about OKP? Was it through the IHS website? Did you see it on social media? Or maybe you're not familiar with it at all? So that's why we are here today, to help you and provide you with some more information. Okay, nice. I see that a lot of you visited our website. That's great. I hope you found the information that you need. We will keep the poll going for a bit longer, and I'll start with a short introduction about OKP. So for those of you who are not familiar, the Orange Knowledge Program is a full scholarship available for professionals working in the urban development, and this funding opportunity is provided by NAFIC and financed by the Dutch Ministry of Foreign Affairs. The main goal of the scholarship and of the program afterwards is that it contributes to a society's sustainable and inclusive development by providing access to education and training to professionals from the countries that are supported, and therefore maybe important to mention is that one of the requirements in the end is that you go back to your home country and contribute to the community, to your city, to its development, and work on a project back there. I think we can close the poll for now. I see that a lot of you were on our social media and website, which is great. I will move on with the next slide, which is the eligible courses. Starting with the Master of Science in Urban Management in Development. This is the master program that we offer here at IHS. And you can specialize in these four master programs that you see. So we have Urban Digital Transformation and Innovation, urban housing and land justice, urban environment sustainability and climate change, and strategic urban planning and policies. If you're not familiar with the master program, my colleague Katica will put the link for our website where you can read more and more details about each of the tracks. But shortly, this is 1 year master program which take place here in Rotterdam at the Erasmus University campus. And yes, you can read the specific requirements and details about each of them on our website. The next one, we also offer professional short courses. So besides the master track, if you don't want to do the master program, you can also do one of the professional short courses. One of them eligible for this round for OKP is the Urban Management short course, which is a 3-month course starting in September this year. And the other one that we offer at the moment is Developing Social Housing Projects, a 3-week course that will take place next year. As mentioned in the beginning, OKP or NAFIC announced that the country list for this application period is shortened and updated. So at the moment, there are only 30 eligible countries. I would like you to pay attention again and make sure that your country is still on the list, because this is a very important requirement when submitting your application. You will see a couple of countries that are highlighted, like Egypt, Sudan, or Lebanon. So these countries are also eligible for the MENA Scholarship Program, MSP. And my colleague Katica will put again the link in the chat. So if you're from one of those countries, you can take a look. But please note that those countries are, this scholarship supports only our short courses. So you cannot apply for the master program through the MSP scholarship. And again, now we have another poll coming up, because we are also curious where you come from. So now on the screen again, you will see a poll popping up. So please indicate from which region of the world you come from. And if you're not shy, you can also introduce yourself in the chat and share more specifically from which country. I see we have a lot of African students, which is great today. Of course, Latin America and Asia Middle East. Nice to see you all. Yes, so you can check again if your country is still on the list, depending where you come from. We will also keep this poll for a bit longer, so if you're tuning in now, you can still vote. And in the meantime, I'll give the floor to my colleague, Laurel, who will explain to you now the application process and the practicalities.
Yes. Okay, so hello again, everyone. I will guide you through the application process for your OKP application. Okay, so first, before you can apply for the OKP program, you need an admission to IHS first. So basically, you start by submitting your application to IHS for one of the eligible master tracks or one of the eligible short courses that my colleague Mika just presented. Please note that you can only submit your application for one course at IHS. So this can either be one master track or one short course. After you have submitted your application to the master track or short course of your choice, the admissions office will review your application. And when they decide you can be admitted, IHS will send you your admission letter together with an invitation to apply for the OKP program. And if you are from one of the listed countries that is eligible to apply for the OKP program, you can start preparing your documents. And in the invitation that you will receive from us, you can find all the documents that you will need to submit, which I will also explain to you in the next slide in a bit. But what's also important to tell you that it's not possible to save your OKP application once you started. So when you start your application for the OKP program, you need to finish it in one go. After you have collected all the required documents and you have submitted your OKP application, you will receive the outcome from us, from IHS. And after that, we will help you with the arrangements for your travel to the Netherlands. For example, the visa or the flight tickets.
Yes.
So we can move on to the required documents for your OKP application. Yes, so on this slide, you see the documents that you need to upload for your OKP application, and I will discuss them one by one. Okay, so first, you need to upload an employer statement according to the format that we provide to you in the invitation. And this employer statement should be filled out by your employer. So this can either be the supervisor of your company or a head of department. And they fill out and sign this employer statement. And they thereby confirm that the company you are working at is willing to support your OKP application. In this employer statement, it has an action plan that should describe how your company will benefit from the knowledge you obtain during the master program or the short course. And also important to tell you that if you would like to be considered for the OKP program, you should not be employed by an organization that has its own means of staff development. So these organizations may include international NGOs, multinational corporations, national large commercial organizations, and those kind of companies. All right. Second, you will need to submit an official and valid passport. An ID card is not accepted. So if you, at the moment, it might happen that you don't have a valid passport. And when that is the case, you need to contact the Dutch embassy to check with them what kind of alternative identification document you can submit for your OKP application. Okay, another document that you will need to submit is the admission letter for the course, and whether you have received an unconditional or conditional admission letter, it's both accepted, so you can both upload them to your online application. Okay, the last document, it's the government statement. And this government statement, it's a document that states you are allowed to go abroad and study in the Netherlands. But this statement is only needed for applicants from certain countries. So those countries will be shared with you in the invitation. But if you're still not sure if you need to provide this government statement, you can also check it in the OKP application form itself. And you do that by choosing your nationality in the form. And if your country requires this document, you will see a box, like a download section appearing, where you will need to submit this government statement.
Yes, before we move on to the next slide, which is important with all the deadlines, as Laurel highlighted, it's very important that you have your letter of acceptance. Therefore, we have the last question for today for you. If you have applied for IHS already, let's see how many of you are in the process of applying or have done so already. Okay, I see that some of you, or the majority, now almost half. That's good to see. It's great to see that you have submitted application. You will receive your results in time, so don't worry about that. You will have them before the OKP deadline. But I see that most of you are still preparing them. Therefore, on the next slide, we have the deadlines, and I would like to give the floor to Laurel again to go over them because they're coming soon.
Yes, okay. So yeah, here you can see an overview of the important deadlines for the master and the short course. First, we have the IHS academic deadline. This is the deadline for which you need to submit your application to the master track or short course of your choice to IHS. So yeah, as you can see for the master program, this is quite soon. It's the 28th of February. And for the short course, this is the 10th of March. And yeah, these deadlines, they have been set because IHS still needs some time, of course, to review and assess your application. So make sure to submit it before those deadlines. Second, there's the OKP deadline. The OKP application is currently open, and until the 29th of March, you can submit your OKP application for both the master program and the short course. And to be sure you can submit your application in time, we recommend you prepare your documents as soon as possible after you have been admitted. Okay, last we have the expected OKP outcome, and this will be announced to you by us, by IHS, in mid-June. And what's also important to tell you is that the OKP program is quite competitive, and only a limited number of candidates can be nominated. The chance to be awarded the fellowship depends on several factors, of course. So these can include the quality of your application, the number of the total applicants, and those kind of factors. So please keep in mind that not everyone can be awarded the OKP scholarship.
Thank you so much. And now I'll stop sharing my screen for a bit. And I will give the floor to Frederick, who will tell you a bit about his background, what he's studying here, how the application process went for him, and any useful tips that you can learn from.
Hello, once again, happy to meet you all the yet to be a student of IHS. As I had said before, my name is Frederick Onyango Warega. I come from Kenya. I'm currently pursuing a MSc Urban Management and Development with a specialization track in urban housing, equity, and social justice. Before I came to IHS, I was working for the local government. We call it a county government back in Kenya. I'd worked with the county government for 1 year, because before I joined the local government, I was working in the private space where I'd worked for 5 years. Now, my journey to IHS began in 2018. That is when I first made an application, and I did receive a positive response from IHS. I was admitted. Unfortunately, I was not admitted for the OKP, for the funding program. I again made an attempt in 2020. Same, I got an admission at IHS, and then using that, I proceeded to apply for the OKP. So it was not an easy task, because you have to be committed to it. It has tight deadlines, so you have to check on the deadlines very, very keenly. And it is good to do the application in good time. You have sufficient time to review. Maybe you can even share with a friend to help you review the motivation, the statement, and even the employer statement. So for the employer statement, most of the times the people are working with the government or with the local authorities. It's very difficult for the employer to sit down to write for you a statement. So I would advise that you can have a draft statement written by yourself. You share with your employer. By doing that, you shall have given him or her easy time to help you out, given the limited time that we have. Otherwise, if you just reach out to employer, you wait for him or for her to write for you a motivation letter, it may take and you may be time bad. So keep that in mind. Again, depending on the track you are interested in, when you are writing the motivation for the OKP, it is also good to know some of the keywords that are used. The keywords will definitely increase your chances of getting the scholarship. So how do you get the keywords? If it is, for example, housing, you want to pursue a housing track. Some of the keywords we normally use here, we have the 5 A's, that is the affordability, acceptability, adaptability, and of course, availability. So these are some of the key terms, keywords that if you use in your application, then you are increasing chances of being awarded the scholarship. If it is, for example, climate change, words like resilience, nature-based solutions. So this you can also get from the link that has already been shared, touching on the specialization tracks. So those are some of the tips and tricks that you can use when you are writing your motivation. By and large, it is possible to get the award. It is quite competitive, that is for a fact. And even if you don't succeed this time round, that does not mean the end of you pursuing your dream at IHS. I know more opportunities will be coming. In my time, I remember they were supposed to communicate by July. Unfortunately, the first email was a regret. Then I said, okay, I'll give it a try next time. But toward the end of July, I got an email congratulating me for the admission. So don't tire, give it your best. And I wish you all the best in your applications. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the tips and for walking the participants today through your journey with OKP. As you see, you shouldn't give up. There is always a chance to get in, which also reminds me that I see in the chat some of you noticed that their country is not on the list, and my colleague Katica will put our scholarship database. So on our website, we have other funding options available where you can check. If in case you don't get admitted to OKP, maybe there will be another funding option for you. And one last time, I'll share my screen for a very quick slide. So I would like to thank you for the attention. Now we will move on to the Q&A. I see already some questions popping up in the chat and the Q&A box. So now it's the time to put your question. We will cover all of them. And let's see, I will open the chat first. There are quite a few things there, so let's see. Yeah, okay, the first question, can I apply for a master program and a short course concurrently? So at the same time, I think Laurel maybe can answer this question.
Sorry, my connection was a bit stuck. What was the question?
If you can apply for the master program and a short course at the same time.
Okay. So no, that is not possible. It's only possible to apply for one of them.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, make your choice. Which one you want to pursue first. Then the next one is from Eric. So he's saying, I want to apply it with OKP scholarship without the letter of acceptance. Well, this is not possible. As we mentioned a couple of times, you need to be admitted to IHS first, either to the master program, one of the master programs, or the short courses. All right, let's see. What do we have next? I see a very mixed audience, which is great. Yes, so Zambia is one of the countries that is no longer on the list, unfortunately. Okay, I see a question from Mahmoud who says, how many days does it take for our application to be reviewed by IHS?
Yeah, I will answer that. So this depends a bit, of course, on how many applications we receive. So if we do receive a lot of applications, it might take longer, but we always seek to review your application within 4 weeks. So you can expect an outcome within 4 weeks.
Yeah, and in the case with OKP, since the deadlines are quite tight, I think those students will have like a priority, or at least you will receive your answer on time to submit your OKP application. And as Laurel said, also you will receive, if you're admitted, you will receive invitations. So you don't have to, for example, look for a link or something for the OKP. Then we have a question. Wait, let me see the name from Gimba. Can I apply to 2 different universities for the OKP scholarship? I'm not sure about that, but I think you can, and it depends where you get admitted, like for which one you get awarded, maybe for only one of them. Yeah. So you can make a choice. Let's say if you're admitted to both of them, you can choose to which one you will go. So Tanvir is asking, please clear eligibility to apply for scholarship if I'm currently final semester bachelor student.
Yes, so of course it is possible to apply for the OKP program if you're currently bachelor student. So as I mentioned, if you are applying for one of the courses and at IHS and you didn't receive your diploma yet, you will get, if you can be admitted, you will be conditionally admitted, and you can just apply for that for the OKP program. So that's not, you don't have to worry about that.
And about the employer statement in that case, if the, Laurel. Okay, we'll wait until Laurel is back. I'm currently, okay, the next question. Wait, I think Laurel is coming back, I hope. All right, in the meantime, we'll continue with the next question from Ressom. Currently, and I hope I'm pronouncing your names correctly, I'm sorry in advance. So yes, I'm currently working for a local private construction company in Ethiopia. Will I be still eligible for the program? Will the employer statement be valid? I think yes, I think Ethiopia is still on the list, and if your company does not have its own staff development, you can apply. It's also very important that the focus is in one of the priority themes for OKP and NAFIC, and you can see those on the OKP page on the NAFIC website. All right. All right, from Jael, we have, Laurel, are you back? Yes. You're muted.
Oh, sorry. My internet got stuck.
No problem. I just wanted to ask you back to the question from the bachelor student. And what about the employer statement in that case?
So the employer statement, it's only about being employed. So you should work somewhere to be able to apply for the program, for the OKP program.
Yeah. All right. So we have a question. What are the documents that are required for application, just so I can have them all ready for one-off process? And have to see planner. Varega Frederick, nice. Well, we covered those a bit earlier, but if you joined the webinar a bit later, maybe Laurel can just mention them again for the people that joined after the slide where we covered the required. Yeah.
Okay, so the documents that you will need to upload for the OKP application is your employer statement. It's a valid passport, so it cannot be an ID card. It's your admission letter, whether that's unconditional or conditional. And it's the government statement, but that one is not required for everyone, only from applicants from certain countries. But in the invitation letter that we will send to you, you can see if your country needs this government statement.
Yes. Then we have a question. Can you send the link for the application of the IHS courses? Yes, my colleague Katica will put it now in the chat so all of you can have the link and you can easily apply through our online application center. Then we have from Esra, I got a conditional acceptance already. What is the next step? Well, the next step is to prepare your documents for OKP, the ones that Laurel just mentioned. So I think you should have received also an invitation to apply. If not, maybe in the upcoming week you will. But if you already have the invitation to apply for OKP, you can submit your application. And as Laurel mentioned again earlier, the OKP application should be done in one go. So please make sure you have all the documents ready and submit them at once. Good afternoon from David from Kenya. My question, can I apply for a course while waiting for my passport? Laurel?
Yes. So you can definitely, you can, I'm not sure if you're referring to the application for IHS or for OKP, but for IHS, in any case, you can just, you can submit it without it. And you can, for example, make a note in the application that you are, that you requested it and waiting for it. But as I mentioned for the OKP application, you need to submit at least an identification document before the OKP deadline.
Yes. Next question is, thank you for the presentation. Is there any chance that at least one student would be selected for the OKP scholarship? Under some circumstance, can the OKP scholarship be granted to more than one applicant from IHS? Yes. So as we mentioned, we have spots, a number of spots. Maybe Laurel knows how many we have for this round. I'm not sure exactly, but the OKP scholarship is awarded to more than one student for sure. It's not only one spot. We usually have around maybe 30 or 40 places. So let's say this number of students will be awarded. But again, it's quite competitive, so make sure your motivation is strong and also you submit your documents on time. All right, let's see the next one from Douglas. Hello, do we have undergraduate engineering courses, especially mechanical engineering? No, the focus of IHS is specifically on urban development and management. So all our courses, master and short courses, PhD as well, are in that area, in that field. So I'm sorry, we don't have that. Well pronounced, thank you. Let me see, thanks for the clarity. Last time in 2022, I deferred my admission because I didn't get OKP scholarship, so that now can I apply to other courses or should I wait till the IHS sends me an answer? This is from
yeah, this depends a bit when you have deferred your application. Okay, so in 2022. I think it's best if you would send an email to us to admission@ihs.nl so that we can check it and come back with an answer to you.
Nice. The next question is, can the founder of a startup apply for the OKP scholarship? If yes, how would such a person go about an employer's statement?
Yes, okay, so basically one of the requirements is that you're not self-employed. I would check within your organization what is exactly the status. But I would just advise you to always try to submit an application anyways. Yeah.
Yes, I agree. Just if you're not sure, you can either ask us in advance or just submit your application and then you will see the outcome. So don't hesitate to submit it. Tanvir is asking, sorry, I don't understand about employer statement as I'm a student. Can you clear? Yeah, maybe we can just repeat again. If you're a student and you're unemployed, unfortunately, you cannot apply, as this is one of the requirements. Can I get a clarification on what do you mean by own staff development?
Yes, so basically, if you are working at an organization that has its own staff development, this, of course, it differs per organization, but in general, it means that that you, for example, get a grant from your own organization to go anywhere or to do anything. So not that you are awarded an external scholarship, but it means if your organization provides you money from the organization itself to do anything professionally, then you cannot be considered for the OKP application.
Yeah, on our website, if you open the OKP page, you can also see a few examples of what these companies are. So we have listed a few companies that they have their own development budget. So you can check if your company is there or if it is similar to the ones listed. So the next question from Osoro for PhD, I have seen it is indicated rolling basis. What does that mean? Well, PhD, first of all, is not eligible for OKP, but if you're asking in general about application, yes, you can apply anytime for our PhD in urban development and governance, and you will find the application. It's again an online portal where you can submit your documents, and it is on our website. Yes, we hope to see you in the Netherlands soon as well. For the employer statement, you earlier stated that it can be written by either my supervisor or head department. Is that right?
Yeah, so this also differs per company. So you can check it within your company yourself, who's in charge, who is allowed to fill it out and sign it. So you should check it with your company.
Then we have a question from Adan from Somalia. Hello, and I want to thank you for the presentation. My question is whether the scholarship is awarded based on countries or solely on paperwork. What if a large number of persons from one country apply and their paperwork are flawless? Will you select all or half of them?
I think that's a good question. Yeah, it really depends on a number of factors. We're also not the one, of course, who decide that, but I think it's both of them. I think it differs also per round, OKP round. But yeah, I would just make sure that the paperwork at least is just correct and everything is there. And then based on the countries, that's really something you cannot control, of course.
But also maybe just a side point that we try to keep the classroom more diverse. So we will, of course, look at the nationality in case we have too many people from the same country. And now I'll move on to the Q&A because all this was only from the chat. So we have. There is more? Okay, my assistant here in the background is saying there are more. All right, let's see. Oh, wait. If, I think it's this one. If funded by the OKP program, can a student proceed to PhD or must return to their country before commencing PhD? Again, Laurel, if you want to.
I think this depends on the visa type, of course, because if you're OKP awardee and you will come to study the master program, then of course you have a visa for only the master program, so you will need to extend it, and then it's possible to start with the PhD. But at IHS, we can only you can only apply for the PhD.
Okay, we'll wait for Laurel to come back. In the meantime, I will continue with the questions from the Q&A. I will try to cover this and we will soon wrap up the webinar. So if there's anything, please make sure you post them now. And we'll start with Aldo. Will this work for people from entrepreneur? Oh, Laurel is back, I think.
She's back.
Yes.
I was stuck again. Did you hear my answer or should I repeat it?
We lost you.
In the last part, we didn't hear.
Okay, so I was saying that you can only apply for a PhD program if you have awarded the master, if you graduated from the master program. So it depends also.
But yes, basically you need to have a master track in your background, educational background, to apply for the PhD, and you need to have your own funding for that, at least at IHS. So yes, let's continue with the question. Will this work for people from entrepreneurial background? I'm continuing my family business in property development industry, currently still small, but would like to enlarge it. I mean, again, as Laurel said earlier, it's, oh, the question disappeared. No worries. Yes, I see it. But yes, it's important that you're not self-employed. So if you're running the business on your own, this is not, unfortunately, possible. In terms of employer statement, you cannot apply for the OKP. Can you explain about employer statement if I'm a student? We covered this already, so I hope you've heard the answer. But again, if you are not employed, you cannot apply. How often? So yes, next question from Nanda. Oops, that is again. I go. Yes, went up. How often is the review of the country list? For example, Zambia is not on the latest list. When could a possible review be done? So this is a question that we cannot really answer because it does not come from us. We just follow the updates that are given to us by the Dutch Ministry of Foreign Affairs and NAFIC. So they're the ones who make the selection for the countries. So yes, we don't know if Zambia will come back. But again, double check our scholarship database and see if there is another funding opportunity for you. And the second question is, how many times can I postpone my admission in the hopes of review of country list? Maybe Laurel can answer this question if you manage to hear it.
Yes, I'm back, but I didn't hear it. Sorry, what?
So the question is, how many times can I postpone or defer my admission?
Okay, so you can do that only once. So if you have already deferred your admission, the last intake, you cannot defer it again, and you have to submit a new application to IHS.
Yeah. I think we answered the next question earlier from Cynthia about the employer statement. Yes, if it comes from either supervisor or department head, we covered this. I think this one as well, or I'm already accepted and received my admission letter. Can I apply again for the second round?
Yeah, I think you mean another OKP round. So if that will be there, then yes, of course, you can apply for a next OKP round.
Where do I submit my application? So for IHS, my colleague Katica put the link already in the chat, so you can find it there. For OKP, once you're admitted again, to mention that once you're admitted, you will receive an email from us with the link for the OKP application portal. On the country focus sheet, I saw percentages for co-funding. Can you elaborate on that? I'm not sure where you saw that, or maybe you mean the polls that we shared. I guess, yeah, we didn't have any percentages on the slides. I think you're maybe referring to one of the polls earlier, but if you have more specific question, we can answer that. Hello, this is Abraham from Ghana. I want to find out about the difference between the OKP programs and the IHS. That's okay. So to make it clear, the programs that we presented earlier, the courses that are eligible, are educational programs that are offered by IHS, and the OKP program itself is just a funding opportunity, a full scholarship that you can use to study in the Netherlands if you're accepted to one of the universities. Again, co-funding percentages, I'm not sure where that was. Does the OKP scholarship cover housing, or is housing automatically provided for the recipients? So yes, in our agreement with NAFIC, IHS provides the students with housing. So yes, it comes automatically once you are officially awarded. Okay, it's me again. Okay, hi Esra. So you said after I get an acceptance, I will receive an invitation to apply for the OKP. Yes, that's correct. From whom I will receive that invitation? Should I contact my program coordinator or OKP admission coordinator? So once you receive your admission letter from IHS, in that same email, you should have also a link to an invitation to apply for OKP. This invitation will come from our admission office. So maybe also keep an eye on your spam. It might happen that it goes there. So if you see an email from admission@ihs.nl, so this is the email you should be looking for. All right, I would like to wrap up slowly. Let me just see if there is anything new. So we covered here. So I see there is a question about, are there any Master of Science scholarship? Yes, the Master of Science that we offer in Urban Management and Development is eligible for OKP. So you can apply for this one. Yes, this is not health-related program. Again, we are working in the urban field. I have an appointment later from my employer. Can this act as appointment letter? Thank you. I have an appointment letter from my employer. Can this act as employer's statement?
It's only the employer statement, the format that we provide in the invitation. And there's no alternative document that you can submit.
I see that someone said the sound was quite low. I'm sorry for that if you had any troubles hearing us, but yes, we are recording the session and you will receive it in your email, or you can also find it on YouTube later on. Do we have to do English language test to qualify for the scholarship?
No, not for the scholarship specifically. It's actually only when you apply for IHS. This depends a bit on which country you are coming from. So if you're coming from a certain country, you don't have to submit it, but this you can find on our website under the admission webpage. And otherwise, if you still don't know, you can email us at admission@ihs.nl.
And then just wanted to say about the employer statement, there is a specific template that you need to follow. Otherwise, your application might not be reviewed. So just make sure that you follow the template and the steps provided by us and NAFIC. David says that he just checked our website and he says, I can apply for scholarship separately. Which comes first now? Well, I'm not sure which page exactly you checked, but for OKP specifically, first you need the admission letter from us. And in that email, you will receive a link to apply. There is no application for OKP specifically on our website. Is it possible to stay at least 6 months for an internship just to gain more professional experience as regards the master course taken? Well, during the master track, there is no internship period, as it is quite intense, 1 year, which starts in September. So after finishing your master program here, you will have to go back to your country. But in case you can combine studying with internship, you can try. Our colleague Desi is also here. Hi Desi, thank you for the help. And I think there are no more questions, so I would like to wrap it up here. Thank you all for your attention, for all the questions, to Frederick and Laurel for being here with us today as well. I hope we provided you with all the needed information. If you have any questions, again, you can either send them to admission@ihs.nl, or if it's, for example, about specific course content, you can also email us at courseinquiries@ihs.nl, and my colleague Katisa is putting these in the chat. Yes, I wish you a nice week, rest of the week, and yeah, hopefully to see you in the Netherlands this fall. Bye-bye.
Bye.